to say that ISU...
Good evening and welcome to Carver Arena and a live News 25 Extra about the basketball rivalry with a little something extra. Bradley and Illinois State University. Welcome again, and over the next half hour, you're going to face an unrelenting aerial bombardment, an unrelenting ground attack of the war metaphor. And then Bradley and Illinois State University are going to play basketball. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll find out that it wasn't all just... No matter the floor or even the outcome.
A great effort by Jim.
Bradley and ISU always have something to talk about. Sometimes it's been about each other.
I think it is the best rivalry in the state of Illinois.
That was our biggest rival. I never wanted it to be that way, but they wanted it to be that way, so that's the way it is.
He goes all the way inside. Jimmy put it up and in! Oh!
Dick has some difficulty dealing in reality.
Hawkins on the drive.
Payback.
Followed by Sonny Roberts.
Lee Hall getting ready for the call of this game, and you've been front and center of this rivalry for more than 10 years now.
I think you told me once that I'd be a great story being a Peoria native and an ISU grad if I wasn't in the business. Mike, when we talk about this Bradley and Illinois State rivalry, the rivalry itself really a modern day thing. Even though the series itself goes back to the very beginnings of Bradley basketball. The first meeting back in 1904, Illinois State won that. Since then, Bradley leads the all-time series 42-38. But if we borrow a phrase from our friends at ESPN to look inside the numbers, ISU has the advantage since 1970 when the program went Division I. Of course, they always say it when these two teams meet, you can throw the records out the window, even the old-time series records. But when it comes to exciting finishes, the numbers are in Bradley's favor. The first Bradley ISU fantastic finish in February of '82. Barney Mines scores with 4 seconds left in Horton Fieldhouse, giving the Braves a regular season sweep of the Redbirds. ISU wasn't so kind to Bradley in the postseason. More on that later. Bradley gets Illinois State twice at the buzzer in '86. First at Carver Arena. Jimmy Les drives to the hoop, tying the game and sending it to overtime, where Bradley wins 67-63. A foreshadowing of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament.
28 for the Big Five.
Percy Hawkins got Drake and Dayton at the buzzer in '86. Illinois State got their dose of last-second medicine in Tulsa in the conference tournament semifinal.
Trying to maintain the winning streak. Watch him win it. Hawkins on the drive.
Watch him win it. You bet.
3 seconds to go. Bradley leading by a point. 10 point doesn't get this down away. Another miracle finish by the Bradley Braves.
Technically, this is not a fantastic finish, at least not to a game. It was the finish of a fantastic career, though. Hawkins' last home game, appropriately enough, against ISU. Hawkins 8-2 against his arch rivals, including this win in the '88 tournament title game. And the last of the fantastic finishes came last month. Illinois State's 13-point second-half lead cut to 2, and Rob Dye's three-pointer cut ISU to the quick. Just like our friends in the political races, we offer equal time to Illinois State. As we mentioned earlier, ISU leads this series since the school went Division I back in 1970. Some of the most memorable wins were close. Some of them were landslides, but they were all exciting because they came against Bradley. Bradley didn't quite corner the market on last-second wins in this rivalry. January '93, Bradley and ISU tied in overtime. Mike Vandegaard draws the foul. He hits 2 free throws, and with 1 second left, Marcus Pollard, the future Indianapolis Colt, misses both free throws that would have tied it and sent it to a second overtime. Another game too close to call in 1990, 72 all. Time running out. Redbird senior Sonny Roberts scores his first bucket of the night with 5 seconds left. Current Bradley assistant coach Dwayne Broussard, just a freshman then, lost the ball as time ran out. Bob Bender's Birds win it 74-72. Back in '89, the War on 74 entered a new battlefield. After meeting at Horton Fieldhouse for 19 years, the Birds and Braves met for the Missouri Valley christening of Redbird Arena. Defensive-minded Bob Donewald watched his Birds tally 91 points in career victory number 200 for the coach. But the biggest win in this rivalry takes us back to Robertson Memorial Fieldhouse. Remember 1982? Bradley swept the regular season series. Then the two teams met again in the Valley Tournament semifinals, a meeting that set the standard for what this rivalry's become through the years. ISU upset the regular season Missouri Valley champs 55-50 in double overtime. It cost Bradley an NCAA tournament bid. Braves went on to win the NIT, but that game helped kindle a fire that still burns today for Bradley and for Illinois. Without a doubt, Mike, the best college basketball rivalry in Illinois and in the Missouri Valley Conference.
Two games.
Yeah.
Have another good one.
Great job.
When we return, we'll talk to a man who's seen a lot of this rivalry in just a minute.
The two-time defending conference and tournament champion sat down with us the other morning. He shared his thoughts on this game, on this building, and on his coaching counterpart.
I noticed when you come out of the tunnel, at least the last few games, the team's out here on the floor, and you come out by yourself. Is there a reason?
I used to come out on the floor during warm-ups, and I changed that because I tend to be a nervous person on game day anyway, and so I would rather be nervous alone than nervous in front of people.
What kind of things do you say to yourself as you're coming out of the tunnel? What kind of things do you do to give yourself peace of mind there?
I think my thoughts are primarily, do I have the team ready? What things are important for this game? What can I do to help our team get off to a good start?
Carver Arena.
Exciting, especially on the night that we're there. Intense, and I think those people hate us a lot worse than we hate them.
Mo.
Great guy, uptight, great defensive coach, and a great competitor.
7:35 Wednesday night.
Can we please play a little better than we've been playing?
You've had injuries. Coach Molinari's had injuries. He's unbeaten at home. They still have a shot at a conference championship. Can you really, truly throw it all out when the thing goes up in the air?
They have a better team. They've proven that. They have experienced guards. They have a senior that's playing at the best of his career. And I think for any team to be successful, you have to have either upperclassmen or seniors playing the best that they've ever played. Bradley has that, and we don't. Because we've been successful in the league on a pretty consistent basis, we've developed a number of rivalries. None is more intense, obviously, than the Bradley-Illinois State rivalry. But the game to me is no different than any other. It's enjoyable because the fans on both sides really get into it. And as I've said before, it's been a very hard-fought but very clean and sportsmanlike rivalry, and I think that's the thing that I've appreciated about it more than anything else.
His coaching counterpart, of course, is Jim Molinari. Now, Saturday afternoon, after Bradley rolled Drake here at Carver Arena, Coach Mo started campaigning for Rob Dye as Player of the Year in the Missouri Valley. Mo should talk. 9-4 and just a game back of first place Evansville. With all the variables he's had to overcome this year, really is starting to sound like Coach of the Year material. 25 Sports' Mark Strauss sat down with Bradley's head Brave.
Rob Dye's shot seems to have changed everything after it.
Right. I think it gave us confidence. I think the situation kind of set the tone for the rest of the year, which has been on certain nights, besides Rob, different people have stepped up offensively, and that's what's helped our team. So I think that was the case there. I think ISU played a good game. I think it was just it was our night. How can I put it? Eric 6 for 6 from 3. He's never done that since. Probably will never do it again. And I think from that we experienced some confidence.
Until that game, you had never personally won at Redbird Arena. You'd never won in Normal. Is that a monkey off your back to finally beat ISU?
Right. Well, I think it was a very satisfying win. I think that I never dreamed of being 500 at Redbird. I was kind of hoping I could win one game. So that was one that I won. And I think we've invested a lot there. So, yeah, it was personally satisfying.
To me, it's sort of ironic that probably the most exciting game with ISU you've ever been involved with personally wasn't at Bradley. It was at DePaul when you were an assistant with Coach Ray.
Right. Remember when he made the 3 that was a 2? I'll never forget that because it was in Horton. And Terrence Green took the shot, and Coach Ray was doing the commentary there, wasn't he then? Yeah. I think Joey was coaching.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think what happened is he was interviewing us. He interviewed the assistants. And he says, let's watch the shot, Jim. And they showed it. We had a TV monitor. And the shot's taken. And Coach Ray, here's the 3-pointer. And then there's dead silence. He goes, it was a 2. Just like that, you know. And I'll never forget that. I think you have to coach to your personality. I think that, you know, I tell our team this. I think if you want to be good at something, now it takes different forms, don't get me wrong. But I also talk about real men are passionate. They're not passive. And you can do that in a quiet way, too, so don't get me wrong. But in my personality, it's got to be in more of a vociferous and more of an exemplary way. And that's a strength, I think, for me, but that's also can be a weakness for me when it's out of control. So, but I really enjoy the games, and I really enjoy practice, and I really enjoy the relationships of coaching. That's the thing about coaching. You know, relationships give you your greatest high, and they give you your greatest low.
A great cast of characters on the sidelines in a building that is starting to pick up a charge.
And that may be what this so-called war is all about. We got a couple different perspectives on the fans when we return.
Moved from the confines of the field house in 1982, it was believed much of that home court advantage would be lost. But as it turned out, it wasn't where fans watched the game that counted. It was how loud those fans could be.
Defense! Defense!
But it's not just the students making the noise.
See, my role's changed a little bit. I sit a lot more than I used to, but I'm still very vocal.
And when the ISU Redbirds come to town, all Bradley fans are ready for war.
I have no love for ISU whatsoever.
And we hate them guys down 74. We're going to kill them this time.
People think that Peoria and Bloomington, Normal, are always fighting each other. We're great, great friends, and we want to build our communities together. But on the basketball floor, that all stopped. Bradley, Bradley, Bradley.
Over the last 85 contests at Carver Arena, the Braves have a record of 76-9. That's the 5th best such mark in school history. Mike?
Now, Scott, there are hundreds of ISU Redbird fans on hand. They're the visitors tonight, the ones who made the trip over on Interstate 74. Eric Shangra, an ISU Redbird fan himself, has their story.
Mike, most Redbird fans are fanatics about their basketball. I try to bring my family to every home game, but I know some other fans who try not to miss any game, home or away.
Their home is brick red. A flag touts their allegiance. On the license of the Red Firebirders, their support for all to see. Clay characters of Jim and Janet Turner greet guests as they walk in their home. A Redbird room in the basement. Janet got the bug at a Bradley game.
It was at Horton Fieldhouse. I will never forget it. I'd never been to an activity, a sports activity like that before, with that much enthusiasm, that much noise. After that, I wanted to go all the time.
And they did keep going to every home game and almost every away game, too.
We've been to NCAA tournaments and got home at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning on a bus trip from Tulsa or from Lincoln, Nebraska, and go to work the next day. But that's just the way it was.
They usually leave 2 hours before game time. At Redbird Arena, you'll find them in the back row of the lower bowl so they can stand and cheer the whole game.
I consider everybody in that arena a friend.
One of the friendships they've made here is with Fred and Mary Dornbach, who travel from Elburn in northern Illinois to Normal for each game.
Travel of 214 miles, go to every game. Most football games, we even travel with the team once in a while.
Dornbach's just donated a refurbished convertible sports car to ISU Athletics to be raffled off as a fundraiser. And there are the Shangras up at higher altitudes cheering on the Redbirds. We'll need a few more years at Channel 25 before we can afford to donate a car and get better seats.
Jim and Janet Turner figure they have donated $15,000 to ISU. They say it's their way of giving back to the community. Mike?
All right, Eric. Almost.
And the bench is empty here at Carver Arena. Big break here. Manuel dishes to Thomas for the
7-6. Tron Smith way outside. It's a three-pointer. It's good.
I made some remarks that I'd like to apologize to the people of Bloomington and Normal. We are 39 miles apart. We have two excellent schools, two schools that love basketball.
Can you say overtime? Ricky Jackson, followed by Sonny Roberts.
Kentucky scored 9 straight. He's going to get a chance for 2 more here. Right by Webb Haynes. James Hamilton is steal with a dunk.
And Mines shoots. Mines missed it. The ball's loose. Barney picks it up. Withers dunked it.